Can you guys hear me?
Hello,
Yeah,
sir.
yes, sir.
Okay. We'll do questions on AOD. We have done the theory. Now it's about doing some questions and knowing what to do. So this is the first one. Normal at one end of the latest rectum of an ellipse passes through one end of the minor axis. And what is the condition on eccentricity? Latest rectum is somewhere here. What is the position of the latest rectum's end? One end.
Below.
The coordinates.
A, E, and B square by A.
Hmm. And you draw normal at that end, obviously it will pass through the other, not this, it will pass through this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is basically 0 comma minus b.
Right.
So equation of normal, if you write from AE b square by a, it should go through 0 comma minus b, and that should give you the condition on the eccentricity.
Hmm. Normal at that point will be by.
Find the derivative at that point, that will be slope of tangent. So
Hmm.
we'll get 2x by a square plus 2y by b square dy by dx is equal to 0. So dy by dx will come out to be minus x by a square y by b square. And putting the value of that point, it will be minus ae b square by a square, and y is b square by a.
Hmm.
So minus e is coming as the slope of tangent. So 1 by e is slope of normal.
Hmm.
So after that, equation of normal is obvious. Y minus ae is equal to 1 by e x
So
minus
x minus
b
b
square
square.
by a.
Yeah.
And it passes through 0 comma minus b. So put that. So minus b minus ae is equal to 1 by e 0 minus, so minus b square by a. So we get b plus ae is equal to b square by ae. So you have to eliminate b and a somehow. So write bae plus a square e square is equal to b square, right? And b square e square is equal to 1 minus b square by a square. So a square e square is equal to a square minus b square, right? Hmm. How do you eliminate everything except e? You have to somehow eliminate everything except e. So
Sir, shouldn't it be y minus b square by a?
have I made a mistake? Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. That's
It
y
will be
minus y.
y minus b square by a and x minus a. And then you put, it will become slightly different. Okay, 1 second. So when you put 0 comma minus b, 0 is x, so minus b square by a is equal to 1 by e 0 minus ae, right?
Yeah, a.
So
It's like a square minus b
get
square is a.
a is equal to b square plus, no, ab by a, right? Something like this.
Yeah,
So you get a square is
minus
equal
b
to,
square is a.
mm, you get this. So now b square by a square, and okay, we can do it easily.
Just
Divide
put
by a square. So b square by a square plus this is b by a, and then put b square by a square as root over 1 minus e square plus root over 1 minus e square, right?
yeah.
And isolate it. So 1 gets cancelled. E square comes this side, is equal to root over 1 minus e square, square it.
Hmm.
You get e power 4 is equal to 1 minus e square. So e power 4 plus e square minus 1
This
is
one
0.
is
So D should be the correct answer, right?
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So by calculus, we can find tangent normal to any curve. That is what you need to know. And once you know the slope and all, you can write the equations of the lines which are tangents and all.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead. This question is, let f be a differentiable function which satisfies this relation, and also f2 is equal to e square by 4. Then question is, what can you say about local maxima and minima for f? Does it have any local maxima, minima, and all? That is the question. So you have to try to find the function basically.
Hmm.
Actually, this is slightly advanced in the sense that this is a question really of differential equations, but you can still try. Uh, x square, if y is equal to fx, then f dash x can be written as dy by dx, and this is written as 2xy, right?
Hmm.
Correct. So if I divide by x square throughout, dy by dx plus 2 by x y is equal to e power x by x squared, right?
Yeah.
Now I need to find y, right? So what happens? Uh, okay, actually, this is a wrong choice for a question because this is, you have to solve for y, and this there is a way to solve these type of differential equations. There is something called an integrating factor. So you multiply by something which makes the question better. So integrating factor here is 2 by x. So you'll multiply by e power integral of 2 by x dx. So what is this integrating factor? It is integral of 2 by x becomes 2 ln x, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So that is basically e power ln x square. So x square only, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Correct. So x square only. So y into x square would be integral of e power x by x square into x square dx. So I will explain what is happening. But right now it is coming e power x. Y into x square is equal to e power x. Therefore, y is equal to e power x by x square. Notice that y is equal to e power x by x square will fit this and it'll fit this also. First of all, it can be easily seen that it fits this, right?
Hmm.
E power x by x square at
Yeah,
x is
yeah.
equal to 2 will fit it.
Yeah.
Let's try to take the derivative of e power x by x square. So derivative will be e power x into x square minus e power x into 2x by x power 4. And if I do x square into f dash x, that becomes e power x into x square minus e power x into 2x by x square, right? Which is e power x minus e power x into 2 by x, right?
Hmm.
And plus, if you add plus 2x e power x by x square, it is plus 2 by x plus 2x e power x by x, right? Which
Hmm.
cancels this term, right? You understand? It fits nicely.
Yeah, yeah.
It cancels this term and it becomes like this. But like it's fine. I chose the wrong question. This question cannot be done right now by you guys. This is a standard method, however, where you want to find y. This is called solving a differential equation. So you have an equation in y with where the derivatives are also present. So we will learn techniques to solve differential equation. This is a standard linear differential equation which is solved by multiplying with an integrating factor. But don't worry about it for now. It's fine.
So what if we put x as 2
How it
in that?
comes no? Here.
I mean, like,
Oh, in that one.
yeah.
So 1 second. So let's see. X square f dash x plus 2x f of x is equal to e power x. So if you put x as 2, what comes? 4 f dash x f dash 2 plus 4 f of 2 is equal to e square, right?
Yeah.
And 4 f of 2 becomes e square,
E
right?
square. Yeah.
So 4 f of 2 becomes e square, correct? So that cancels and you get 4 f dash 2 is equal to 0, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
So basically f dash 2 is becoming 0, you're getting, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
actually, even without solving for the function, you can know that at one point its derivative is becoming 0, right?
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So that means that it might have a maxima minima, right? Maxima or minima at this point, right? Maybe
Yeah.
you can do a double derivative and check whether f double dash 2 is positive or negative, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So you will decide what it is, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Hmm.
So if you differentiate two times, one more time, so 2x f dash x plus x square f double dash x plus 2 f of x plus 2x f dash x is equal to e power x. This is the second derivative equation.
Yeah.
In,
Yeah.
in this, if you put x is equal to 2, you get 4x f dash x becomes 4 into 2 into f dash 2 plus this becomes 4 f double dash 2 plus 2f2 is equal to e power 2, right?
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
part is 0. This part is unknown. 4f dash 2 is equal to e square minus 2f2. 2f2 is how much? f2 was given, right?
E square by 2.
E square by 2. So it is becoming positive, right? F double dash 2 is coming out to be e square by 8, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So we know for sure that it is a minima here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at least one part of the question you can answer even without knowing the function. It's fine. So putting 2 is correct. It has a minima. Fine. But anyway, we can find the function here, which we'll learn later. So it's fine. We'll move on. The question is, if fx is a real valued bijective function, satisfying f dash x is equal to sine square sine of x plus 1, and f of 0 is equal to 3, then what is the value of f inverse double derivative at 3? You have to find the double derivative of f inverse at 3. And you are given the single derivative of the function. And it is given that it is bijective, which is 1, 1 on 2. So inverse exists. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Inverse of a function only exists if it is bijective.
Bijective.
So basically, if you call inverse function as g, you want to find g double dash 3. So try this. So whenever such questions come, it is useful to write it like that, right? Like I told you, f of g of x is equal to x, right? Or g of f of x is equal to x. And if we differentiate these expressions, what we get is, like here, if I differentiate, it gets f dash g of x multiplied by g dash x is equal to 1. Therefore, g dash x is coming as 1 by f dash g of x, right?
Yeah.
What is happening from here? G dash f of x into f dash x is equal to 1. So g dash f of x is equal to 1 by f dash x. Now, okay, so now if I differentiate this once more here, right? Once more. So g double dash f of x multiplied by f dash x is the differentiation this side, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And this side should be minus 1 by f dash x whole square into f double dash x, right?
Right, yeah.
Correct. So therefore, I will get g double dash f of x is equal to minus 1 by f dash x whole cube multiplied by f double dash x, right? So somehow, if you can arrange that this f of x is equal to 3, right? Correct.
Yeah.
At what value can you arrange that this f of x is equal to 3? At 0, right?
0. Yeah.
0.
You put x is equal to 0 here. Then you will get g dash 3 value directly, right?
Yeah.
G double dash 3. So let's put x is equal to 0 here. So it becomes g double dash 3 is equal to minus 1 by f dash 0 whole square, whole cube,
Okay.
multiplied by f double dash 0. So we can find both of these things. F dash 0 whole cube, so directly you'll get.
Yeah.
Differentiate this once more to get f double dash x and then put 0, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So the idea is always like whenever the inverse derivatives are being asked, you should always think of doing something like this. F of g of x is x, g of f of x is x. And any one of them, if you differentiate, you might get a thing that is convenient to handle. Like this, I did not use because there was an inside g of x here, right?
Yeah,
That would be
yeah.
annoying, the inside g of x part, because I don't know so many values and all, right?
Yeah.
I did not use the first one. I used the second one because there the inside part is f of x, whose values I might know.
Yeah.
So one derivative gives me first derivative of the GE function, and the one more derivative gives me second derivative, and it comes out to be looking like this. So
Hmm.
now I can put the values and get the answer, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Hmm.
F dash 0 will be sine square sine 1, sine square sine 1, and F double dash x is actually 2 sine x plus 1 into
Also,
cos sine x plus 1 into cos x plus 1, right?
Yeah.
This is the full derivative by doing chain rule. So
yeah,
first differentiate the power, then differentiate the sign, then differentiate the argument,
yeah,
right? Now, if you
yeah.
put 0, you'll get 2 sine 1 into cos sine 1 into cos 1, right?
Hmm.
And after that, it's just substituting and getting
Yeah.
that. So this talks about how to do handle inverses when there are derivatives, So you need to be aware of this. Okay. Uh, Okay, the next one is this one. If y is equal to x plus root over 1 plus x square to the power n, then the value of 1 plus x square multiplied by d square y by dx square plus x into dy by dx is equal to what? So this is straightforward. You guys should be able to do it. The options here are minus n y square minus y n square y, and d is minus n square y. What is the derivative? Tell me first derivative here.
Derivative simplifies to root of 1 plus x square.
So how do we do it? We differentiate the n part,
Yeah.
n,
Yeah.
this
Mm.
n minus
Y
1,
minus 1.
then this
1.
inside part 1 plus
1 plus 2x
Right.
2 times.
X square into 2x.
hmm. So 2 cancels, and notice that this becomes n only, right?
Yeah.
So it is because basically n y
Y
by
by
root
root
over
of
1 plus x square.
yeah.
So one more differentiation is needed. So if we multiply this like this is equal to ny and then differentiate. So you'll get y double dash root over 1 plus x square plus y dash x by root over 1 plus x square, right? is equal to ny dash, right? Correct.
Right. Yeah.
So y double dash multiplied by root 1 plus x square is actually coming out to be y dash n minus x by root over 1 plus x square, right? So y double dash multiply by root 1 plus x square, root 1 plus x square. So this becomes this, right? And this is root 1 plus x square y dash n minus x by root 1 plus x square, right? Correct. So it is n y dash root 1 plus x square minus x y dash, right? Correct. So and y dash is actually ny, n into ny, right? This part, this
Yeah, yeah.
cancels, right? So it is n square y minus x y dash, right? This
Yeah.
part, this part.
Yeah.
So plus x y dash will cancel this, and answer will be n square y, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It is coming, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. Let's move on. Question. This is question saying continuous function fx. Continuous function f of x satisfies the relation integral of x to x plus 1 f of t dt is equal to e power x for every value of x greater than equal to 0. You have to find out the value of f2 minus f0. So this is the stuff that I taught you about how to differentiate the integral, right? You remember that, right? If I have to differentiate left hand side, how will I do it? First of all, notice that the left hand side is a function, not a value.
Yeah.
It depends on x because the limits are x and all.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You can actually differentiate it. So it will not become 0 basically. So how do I differentiate it? Someone tell me. This is a very important thing. You need to remember it. You don't have to time to figure it out in the exam. Okay. Like you need to remember the way to differentiate. So what we discussed earlier was let
Just
integ.
PTDT, right?
What?
We can take it as PTDT and I write the limits as GX and HX.
Yes. Finally, do you know the answer? What will come if I differentiate?
Don't remember what the expression we get.
So do you need to remember the answer? You cannot be like I will figure it out because this will be, let's say, gt plus c. So when you put limits, it will be g of x plus 1 minus g of x, right? Differentiating means g dash of x plus 1 minus g dash of x, right?
Yeah.
But g dash t is what? ft, right?
Yeah.
So g dash x plus 1 is basically f of x plus 1 minus f of x. That is the differentiation. So you put whatever is the variable, you put that the upper limit and then differentiate the upper limit. So that is 1 minus put the lower limit and differentiate the lower limit. That is 1.
Yeah.
If it was something something more complicated, this derivative would have changed, no, this part here.
Yeah.
Because if it was suppose x square and all, gx square minus gx, like suppose, then when I differentiate, it would have become g dash x square into 2x minus g dash x, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And g
Yeah.
dash x square would be f of x square into 2x. So you're putting the limit x square and differentiating x square to get 2x, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Here it is x plus 1, therefore this is 1 and this is 1.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
so that is the way it is coming, and this part you need to know directly so that you can use it in questions. Now it is obvious what to do. F of x plus 1 minus f of x is going to be e power x here. So just put 0 first. You'll get f of 1 minus f of 0, right?
Hmm.
F of 1 minus f of 0, this is f of x, is equal to 1. And then you'll get f of 2 minus f of 1 is equal to e power 1, right?
Yeah, and then subtract.
Then just add. F
Oh,
of
yeah,
2
yeah.
minus f of 0 is equal to 1 plus e, basically, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not very easy to solve. Like, you cannot solve it without differentiating. Okay. Next one is, if fx is a differentiable function defined for all positive real numbers, all positive real numbers, such that x times f of x is equal to x plus integral of 1 to x f of t dt. Then find value of k is equal to 1 to 10 f of e power k. It's the same idea that we just now did. I don't want to handle this integrals. What should I do? Differentiate.
Yeah.
So differentiate this side, it will become f of x plus x times f dash x is equal to 1 plus differentiation of this. So it will be f of x into differentiation of 1 minus f of 1 into differentiation of 1 will be 0.
0.
So you get this cancels. You get x f dash x is equal to 1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
F dash x is equal to 1 by x.
1 by x.
So you write df x by dx by x, right? And integrate, right? F dash x is 1 by x, so fx is log x, obviously.
Yeah,
Fx is log x
just
plus
log
c,
x.
right?
Yeah.
So here, if fx is log, you should write log x plus c so that you can find the value of c given this condition, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it is something like that. No, c could be something, right?
Yeah, could
So
be.
so if you put x is equal to 1 in the original equation, right? Notice that the integration vanishes because 1 to 1, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll get 1 into f of 1 is equal to 1, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means f of 1 is 1. So that means f of 1 is equal to 0 plus c. So c is equal to
C
1,
is
right?
1.
So fx will come as 1 plus log x. And then it is very simple to find this because f of e power 1, for example, will be what? 1 plus 1, right?
1.
So 2. And f
Yeah.
of e power 2 will be
Delta.
1 plus 2, so 3, right? And so you just have to add like 2 plus 3 plus so on, right?
11.
Yeah. Yeah.
So understand that the differentiation of an integral property can be handy in many questions, and you need to think of doing that. Like here, you don't want to handle like this integral. No, you don't know anything about the function other than it is differentiable, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you should just differentiate
Right.
and see what comes.
Mhm.
Once you
Yeah.
get this, you cannot ignore the constant. If you ignore the constant, it will be wrong,
Yeah.
right? Because there is a condition here, so you have to figure out what the constant is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, the next one is this. If the line, if the line y is 2px plus y into root 1 minus b square is equal to 1, always touches x square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1 for all p belonging to -1 to 1 minus 0. P cannot be 0. What is the eccentricity of this element? Okay, try this question and the next question also I'll write one second. Let fx is equal to root over e power x plus x minus a for a belong to real if there exists x naught belonging to -1 to 1 such that f of x naught f of x naught is equal to x naught, then find the range of a. Range of a. This is the second question. So try both of these. Hmm. I'll be back in 2 minutes. eccentricity did you guys get?
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
root 3/2.
Root 3 by 2 is correct. Everyone else is getting the same thing.
Yeah, please compare with the equation of tangent of a ellipse.
Yeah. Anyway, you can do that. You can also say that discriminant is 0 and all.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So fine. Question next one. Let's do the next one. So this is a slightly theoretical type of a question. So notice here that fx is always positive, right?
Hmm.
Fx is always greater than 0, right?
Yeah.
And also you can notice that f dash x will come out to be something like this and some things on top which is e power x plus 1, right? So f dash x is always positive also.
Hmm.
So f dash x is always positive means f of x is increasing, right? F of
Yeah.
x is an increasing function.
Hmm.
Okay. So now what is given to us? What is given is f of x naught is equal to x naught, right? So since we know f of x is always positive, then f of something will be positive, right?
Hmm.
So we know that f of x naught will be greater than equal to 0, right?
Hmm.
Because it is
Hmm.
an f of something, and f of anything
Yeah.
is positive,
Yeah.
right? So we are getting the intersection of whatever is the graph of this is intersecting with the line y is equal to x, right?
Hmm.
Like it is an increasing function and it must be intersecting with the line y is equal to x, right? At x naught,
Hmm. Yeah.
correct? Then only somehow it is becoming equal to this, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
And x naught belongs to -1 to 1. So technically here, x naught belongs to 0 to 1,
Hmm.
right? Because uh,
Positive.
it is positive. It will
Yeah.
intersect in the positive side,
Yeah. Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So there is an intersection of the graph of this with this. Now, obviously, you can write f of x naught is equal to f inverse of x naught here, right? Because f of x naught is x naught. So take inverse on both sides.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
So what we are saying is that the function is equal to its inverse at the same point x naught, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Function is equal to its inverse at the same point. So inverse and a function are actually supposed to be reflections of each other around this line, right?
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if they are meeting at some point, then they will meet on the line, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, the solution will happen when this is equal to x naught, right? Both the inverse and the function are equal to y is equal to x line, right?
Hmm.
Basically, what I'm saying is function and its inverse, if they intersect, they will intersect on y is equal to x line, nothing else, nowhere else.
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in now, since you have this function definition, you can say this becomes equal to x naught, right? In order to solve.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
So you'll
Yeah.
say root over e power x naught plus x naught minus a is equal to x naught, right?
Right. Right.
So squaring, you'll get x naught square is equal to e power x naught plus x naught minus a. So a becomes e power x naught plus x naught minus x naught square, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now you have to find range of a, right?
Yeah.
Range of a you have to find, and you know that x naught belongs in
It's
0 to
not
1.
0 to 1.
Yeah.
So it's like finding the range of another function f of g of x. G of x is my function, which is e power x plus x minus x square, right?
Mm.
That is my a. A is looking like that function. You have to find range of that, and x belongs to 0 to 1,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
You have to find range of this. So now this function's range, to find range, you should check whether it is increasing or decreasing, because that will be useful. So that will tell you whether if it is increasing or decreasing. Range can be found very easily by taking endpoints, right?
Yeah. Endpoints.
Yeah.
So right now, if I take g dash x here, it will become e power x plus 1 minus 2x. And in the region of 0 to 1, right?
Hmm.
In the region of 0 to 1, this might be positive. Let's just check once. Uh, at 1, what is the value? E power 1 plus 1 minus 2. So e power 1 minus 1, which is positive. At 0, it is still positive. Uh, can we prove that it's always positive between 0 to 1? Okay. What is the maximum value of this? Minus 2,
Yeah.
right?
-2.
And this value, e power x plus 1, the minimum value is 2 there, no?
Yeah. Minimum's 2. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
minimum of this is 2 and maximum of this is 2.
Maximum.
So it will be positive always, no?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Hmm.
So we know that g dash x is positive always in this interval at least, and therefore gx is increasing, and therefore gx range can be found by the endpoints 0 and 1, right?
Yeah.
So range will be,
Yeah.
when you put 0, you get 0, 1 plus 0 minus 0, so 1. And when you put 1, you get e plus 1 minus 1,
1
e.
minus 1.
E.
Hmm.
So range of a belongs to 1 to e, right?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the idea here was basically realizing that when this statement is made, you actually mean that f of x naught is equal to f inverse x naught. And that will happen only when the graph intersects the y is equal to x line.
Hmm.
Right. Yeah.
Graph of f intersects the y is equal to x line. So solutions of such an equation where inverse and a function are said to be equal is always going to be f of x is equal to x.
Right.
That point is the solution.
Hmm.
So if you put that f of x naught is equal to x naught, you will get a value in terms of x naught,
Yeah.
and you have to find the range of a. So then this is like range of this new function, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Then the next one is minimum value, minimum value of f of x is equal to x power 3 by 2 plus x power minus 3 by 2 minus 4x plus 1 by x is what?
we can use AM, GM, right?
We are not told that x cannot be negative.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, right.
We should use calculus.
Yeah, yeah.
The numerator should vanish here.
Hmm.
The numerator should disappear. Is it disappearing at some point? Doesn't seem like any obvious solutions coming to mind. So there is a root between 0 and 1 because f dash x is negative at x is equal to 0 and positive at x is equal to 1.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
However, how will you find it? 1 by minimum value of this. Maybe there is a algebraic solution. F of x is equal to x 3 by 2 plus x power minus 3 by 2 minus 4x plus 1 by x. So this is root x whole cube plus 1 by root x whole cube plus 1 by x, right? A cube plus B cube, and this is A cube plus B cube, right?
Yeah.
Root x is A, so let's say root x is A. So what we are getting is A cube plus 1 by A cube minus 4 times. Oh wait, am I making some mistake or is it like this? That is weird. Root x, no, this is A square plus 1 by A square, right? Root x was A. Yeah, correct. This is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Root x is A, then this is A cube plus 1 by A cube minus 4 times A square plus 1 by A square. Okay. Then we can write it like this: A plus 1 by A square minus AB, so which is 1 plus 1 by A square, right? Minus 4 times A square plus 1 by A square plus 2. I have done a minus 8 here, so I should add plus 8, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I can take common. I can take A plus 1 by A common out of first two terms. It becomes A square minus 1 plus 1 by A square minus 4 times A plus 1 by A, right? Plus 8. So minus 4 times A plus 1 by A, and this is A square plus 1 by A square. So A square plus 1 by A square plus 2 minus 3 minus 4 times A plus 1 by A minus 3, right? So this is A plus 1 by A whole square minus 4 times A plus 1 by A minus 3, right? Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Inside the bracket. So what I'm getting overall is A plus 1 by A whole cube minus 4 times A plus 1 by A whole square minus 3 times A plus 1 by A and plus 8, right? Correct. Okay. Now at least I know what A plus 1 by A can be. A is root x, so it is positive always, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So A plus 1 by A will be minimum will be 2,
2.
and 2 will happen only when A is equal to 1, right?
Yeah.
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 So, and otherwise it is greater than 2. So minimum will be 2. So if it is 2, what happens to the thing? It will become 8 and 8 plus 8, 16 minus 4 into 4 minus 3 into 2. So it is 16 minus 16 minus 8, right? And this becomes 8 plus 8, right? So it cancels this part, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you get minus 6, I think.
-6.
Yeah.
Minus 6 happens at A is equal to 1,
1.
right? And means x is equal to 1, answer is minus 6. And other values, okay, this cubic, it is a cubic, right? 1 second, I'll just get some space. What I'm getting is, okay, I'm getting a cubic like this: x cube minus 4x square minus 3x plus 8, where x is greater than equal to 2 or x is less than equal to minus 2, right? Correct.
Yeah.
No, but it is not possible for A to be negative. So maybe that is not possible. Okay. Only this region is allowed.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. So x is greater than 2. Let's take the derivative of this cubic. 3x square minus 8x minus 3. Discriminant is positive. B square minus 4ac.
Sir, in the starting expression we got, in the question it's written x to the power 3 by 2, right? So doesn't that mean it always has to be positive itself?
That means that x has to be positive. So that is why I'm saying A has to be positive.
So then why can't we directly use AMGM?
What will you do here? Tell me.
Won't it be so x to the power 3 by 2 plus 1 by x to the power 3 by 2 would be 2 minimum.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Then how will you compare?
okay, yeah, right, right.
You cannot directly use because it's subtraction of two things. How will you decide?
Yeah, yeah.
So we have this situation. This cubic for x greater than 2. Okay, x greater than 2, the derivative is always positive. Yeah, this derivative. Okay, let's find the roots of the f dash x. So it is 8 plus minus root over 64 minus minus. So 64 b square minus 4ac. So plus 4 into 9, 36. Okay, nice. By 2 into 3, it is 10. 8 plus minus 10 by 6. So it is either 18 by 6 or minus 2 by 6, right? So at x is equal to 3, f dash x is 0, right? Right.
Right.
F dash x is becoming 0 at x is equal to 3. So f double dash x is equal to 6x minus 8. At x is equal to 3, it is positive, right? So f dash x is becoming 0 at 3 and it is positive. The minima point is at 3, right? Minima at 3, right?
Yeah.
When x is equal to 3 and x is basically for us a plus 1 by a, right? This x is basically a plus 1 by a, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So this thing achieves minimum at 3, right? What is the minimum value? Let's put 3 there. So it becomes 27 minus 4 into 9. So 36 minus 3 into 3, 9 plus 8. So this becomes minus 10, right?
Minus 10. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Minus 10 is coming, which is the minimum of this cubic, right?
Right.
And that is happening when a plus 1 by a is equal to 3, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And a plus 1 by a, this will give us value of a, right? This will give us the value of a. We can just solve a square plus 1 is equal to 3a.
3A. Yeah.
So a will be b square 3 plus minus b square 9 minus 4 5 by 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll take actually both the values are fine, right? Both the values are positive, root x.
Yeah, both are positive.
So there are two values of x at which what happens is we get minus 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is the answer. That is the minimum. The minimum value was being asked. Answer is correct. Answer is minus 10. And we had earlier found 1 point minus 6 and all. No, that is not minimum. The 2
Yeah.
point, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this is a slightly tricky question because the derivative, you cannot just immediately solve it by taking derivative. You cannot find roots very easily. That is the problem for the derivative,
Yeah.
right? So it is better in that case, you can check the derivatives, but finding roots is going to be difficult or impossible almost. So what we did was we took root x as a and wrote it as an algebraic expression. And then it became a cubic in a plus 1 by a.
Yeah.
And then we found the minima of the cubic. Because there it was the cubic part, we did the derivative. We saw that the derivative of quadratic was disappearing at some point, right?
Yeah.
At x is equal to 3 for that cubic. And
Yeah.
once the derivative disappeared, we checked double derivative, it was positive. So that is the minima point confirmed, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that is how we did this. We found the answer is minus 10. We found x values also we can find, basically, where it happens. Correct?
Yeah.
So sometimes it might be hard where your derivative immediately does not give an answer and you have to simplify using some algebraic process to get it to a form which you can handle, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Then next one is consider the function f of x is equal to mod of x square minus 7x plus 12 and x square minus 7x plus 10 and x square minus 4x plus 3. And the question is, Rolle's theorem is not applicable to which range? Is not applicable to which range? And options are 1 to 3, 2 to 4, and 3 to 5. And D is none of these. So remember the conditions for Rolle's theorem and then apply them properly. The first step should be to simplify the function a little bit. Remove the mod sign from the function.
Yeah.
Basically define the function nicely. So this is x minus 2, x minus 5. This is x minus 1, x minus 3, right? And this is x minus 4, x minus 3, but under the mod, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So just define the function, not like this, just define it in all ranges. So the points that you have to worry about are 3 and 4, right?
Yeah, 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Beyond 4, the function should be positive.
Positive.
Between it should be negative, and below it should be positive. So function definition will become, let's do the beyond 4 part. In that region, it is plus, 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 right? Like this.
Yeah, plus.
It will be x minus 3 whole square, x minus 1, x minus 2, x minus 4, x minus 5, right?
Yeah.
For x greater than or equal to 4. In 3 to 4, it will be negative here. So it will be negative of x minus 3 whole square, and everything else should be same, right?
Same.
It should be this thing. And less than equal to 3, it will be again same thing as first one, right?
Yeah.
Correct. Now check the intervals, right? For Rolle's theorem, you have to ensure f of 1 is equal to f of 3, and it is continuous and differentiable everywhere.
Yeah.
Continuous at 1 and 3 and differentiable in the interior, right? F of 1 is equal to f of 3.
Yeah, it's
that
equal.
is not in doubt. But is it? It should be continuous. Yeah, it is one function only. It's one function here, right? 1 to 3, right?
Yeah.
So it is definitely one function, so it's not a problem. You will have a problem when you cross over some interval, right? So 2 to 4 is likely to be a problem, right? Because 2 is below this and 4 is above this, right?
Above, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Just it is not differentiable at 3, I think. Maybe. Is it differentiable at 3? Rolle's theorem will not apply if it is not differentiable in the interior, right? Correct. So at 3, just check differentiability from the left hand side. Okay, that checking might be slightly annoying. Just take derivative and see if it is coming different answer from both sides, right? No, actually, it is easier to take limit in this case. You understand what I'm saying? At 3, if I have to check derivative will be annoying. Don't do that. At 3, if I have to check differentiability, limit of h tends to 0, f of 3 plus h minus f of 3 by h, right?
Yeah.
This should be same as limit of h tends to 0, f of 3 minus f of 3 minus h by h, right?
Yeah.
Correct. So it is easier to write these expressions because f of 3 is 0. So this part is gone. It is easier to write these expressions and calculate the limit rather than do anything else, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this product type of function, right?
Yeah.
So just check the limit. F of 3 plus h here will be h minus h square and 3 plus h minus 1 will be 2 plus h and 1 plus h and minus 1 minus h, 3 plus h, so minus 1 plus h and minus 2 plus h, right? By
Yeah, right.
h. So h remains and the limit becomes 0, right? Oh, I think it will become 0 in both cases, right? Yeah. It will become 0. It is differentiable,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It is differentiable. Continuity, what is happening? It is going to be continuous also. So Rolle's theorem is seeming to be applicable everywhere, no?
Yeah.
F of 1, F of 2 and F of 4 are same, yeah? F of 2 and F of 4 will disappear, yes.
Yeah, 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
F of 3 and F of 5 will also disappear. Okay. I didn't think the answer would be none of these. 3 to 5, is it differentiable everywhere? 4 was, what is the situation at 4? Oh, near 4, it might be non-differentiable. Oh, yeah. It's not differentiable at 4. Why? Because there is only one factor, no? Then the sign will change. The reason it was becoming differentiable was there's h here which became 0, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But there is only one factor, no? 4 plus h if you put, there will be h here, but there will be less than 4, it will be minus h here, right?
Minus h. Yeah, yeah.
So the answers will differ, the limit when you do 4 plus h and 4 minus h, right?
Right, right.
At 4, there is only one factor, so it doesn't become 0. So it is not differentiable at 4. So Rolle's theorem cannot apply on this one. Rolle's theorem condition says that it should be differentiable in the interior
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and continuous at every point.
Yeah.
Right? You understand?
Yeah, yeah.
So you have to check everything carefully. Like, don't assume anything, right? And in this question, checking differentiability by derivatives will not be very feasible because taking derivatives would take a long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Check by the definition. Many times taking derivatives is faster, right?
Yeah.
Take the derivative on the right side and the left side, they should match. But this time, it is not a question where derivatives can be taken. You have to do the limit definitions, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Continue solving your book. Allen book, if you have doubts and all, we can discuss those as well, like in the future classes. But mostly I will start theory for integral calculus from next week. But theoretically, differential calculus is over. It's about practice now. So you should do your Allen books and whatever doubts you have, we can discuss. But we will start integral calculus next week onwards. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all for now then. I'll see you guys. Bye.
Bye, sir.